What's up, film buffs? This is Brian coming at you from Toxic Reviews, and today I am reviewing Jolt. Roll it. Jolt is a carbonated soft drink produced by the Jolt Company. The cola drink was created in 1985 by CJ Rapp as a highly caffeinated beverage. It was targeted to...
I'm just jerking your chain.
Wrong Jolt. Lindsay is a woman with a painful secret. Due to a lifelong rare neurological disorder, she experiences sporadic, rage-filled, murderous impulses that could only be stopped when she shocks herself with a special electrode device. Unable to find love and a connection in a world that fears her bizarre condition, she finally trusts a man long enough to fall in love, only to find him murdered the next day. Heartbroken and enraged, she embarks on a revenge-filled mission to find his killer, while also being pursued by the police as the crime's prime suspect. Jolt stars Kate Beckinsale, Jai Courtney, Stanley Tucci, and Bobby Cannavale, and is an Amazon Prime exclusive. So I know I'm going to sound like a broken record because I always say that I like a lot of different actors and actresses, but there's a lot of great talent out there, and Kate Beckinsale is definitely one of them. Everything she's in, I think she's electrifying in. I love the Underworld films, even though they reduce in quality as they go on, but I still enjoy them for what they are. Good camera work, lighting, acting, for the most part. Good action, and a fair story that keeps you entertained. And it's vampires. Can't go with vampires and lichens, werewolves. So I didn't have any idea that this film was being shot, coming out. I didn't know anything about this film going into it, which I love. I was introduced to the trailer while I was surfing on Amazon. I saw it at the top, and I'm like, oh, okay, let me take a look. So I watched a couple seconds of the trailer, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to stop. I'm just going to watch it because it just came out. So I figured, let me just watch it without having any expectations whatsoever. All I knew, or all I caught from the trailer, was that she has an anger problem and she wears something on her to control that anger. So I'm like, oh, I'm in. You know, you can't go wrong with a good action film. You know, I think what sets the bar now are films like John Wick, Atomic Blonde, films like that. This film, I liked it, but it has a lot of problems. And unfortunately, it's not a film that you would want to revisit. And I'll get into why right now. So when the movie starts out, there is a lot of exposition. There is a voiceover and images of Kate Beckinsale's character as a child growing up with this anger problem. But it's okay. If they explain this stuff at the beginning in about 5 minutes over the credits, I don't mind that. I'd rather have them get that exposition out of the way at the beginning than, you know, right in the middle of the movie when you have all this great pacing, they just sit down and start talking nonsense. So even though there's a lot of exposition, they still leave out some things because there's still kind of a twist at the end where they explain things that they kind of left out in the exposition-riddled beginning. Kate Beckinsale's character, whose name is Lindy, sees a doctor/therapist that created this device that she wears all over her body. It's one of those devices where if you've ever seen them, you put them on your muscles, and if you have muscle aches, it kind of contracts with higher and lower levels of electrodes that go into your body. So she has them everywhere. You know, at first I thought it was just going to be on a particular area in her body, but when she takes her shirt off, it is literally everywhere. So if she gets pissed off, or if she's starting to get mad at someone, like at the beginning of the movie, she's going to a blind date with Jai Courtney, and she is walking and she sees a guy being really rude. So she's trying to control it, but he's being super rude, and she looks like she breaks his leg. Stanley Tucci's character is trying to get her to interact with society more because she feels she's too different and people won't accept her because, you know, she's got a really bad anger problem. But she meets this guy, Jai Courtney, goes on a blind date, falls in love with the guy, and then by the third date, or before their third date, he gets killed. They question Kate Beckinsale's character, and they think she's possibly a suspect. So that's basically what the film is about. It's about her finally finding someone she connects with after 2 dates, which is an issue with me. And she just wants to kill the guy or woman or person that killed her soon-to-be boyfriend. I really wish they would have utilized montages a little bit, because I would have rather had her be with a guy for a long period of time, or a person for a long period of time, more than 2 dates. She's dating this guy for 2 days, he gets killed, she gets pissed off, wants to kill everybody. Every time she comes in contact with particular villains, they'll ask her, who was this guy to you? Was he your boyfriend? And she's like, yeah. Well, not really. We don't really have titles. We were about to have a third date, but they do that about 4 to 5 times, but it really doesn't get old, because she kind of has a different reaction every time and a different answer. I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah, like I said, there's a considerable amount of comedy that kind of lightens things up, which I do like. There's even a funny scene where Jai Courtney's character asks her, have you ever tried meditation? And she's like, yeah, I tried meditation. I tried yoga. I tried extreme sports. And it kind of cuts to each one of those instances when she's talking, and it's pretty funny. That's one thing I really like about this film, is that it's a good balance of action and comedy. The performances are great. I mean, you have a lot of veterans here. Kate Beckinsale is fantastic and everything. Stanley Tucci is awesome in everything he does. Bobby Cannavale, it's not really a big character, but he's always entertaining. Jai Courtney really isn't in it for too long because he's the boyfriend, but I don't know. He gets a lot of crap, but I actually kind of like Jai Courtney. I think he has a very good screen presence. And Kate Beckinsale has so much charisma on screen, honestly. She's been doing this for a long time, but every time I see her on screen, especially in this film, she has so much confidence. She's so cocky. Her character is hilarious. I really like her character. And it's a shame that it's in a film that has not too good of a script and not too good of anything else besides the acting and characters. So let's get into that. In a time where we have action films like John Wick, Mad Max Fury Road, Atomic Blonde, there is no excuse to have an action film have mediocre, short, shaky cam action scenes. The one thing that I was really excited about for this film is to see Kate Beckinsale kick some ass. She does a great job of it in every film that she kicks ass in. You know, I mean, watch Underworld. She's a badass. There's a few fight scenes here or there, but they're really not choreographed well. And as a person that loves action films, it is really disappointing to be watching an action film with mediocre, bad choreographed action scenes. It's like watching a horror film and not getting scared or creeped out at all. That's a fail. That is a fail. So the fight scenes, you can tell that they're trying to go a little John Wick-esque, which is cool, because John Wick is the prime example of how to shoot action films and how to choreograph action films, action scenes, I should say. Well, there's a scene where she takes on a crap load of guys towards the end of the film that started to look good, but just wasn't. Like, I'm trying to explain it as good as I can, but shaky cam, very tight, very tightly shot. You know, I mean, come on. At this point, shoot it wide. If you have to have a stunt double and CGI her face on it, just do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. There's no excuse not to have really good choreographed action scenes now. I understand it's a tight 90-minute film. John Wick films are not that long either, and I'm sorry to compare it to that. But Kate Beckinsale's a badass. Use her talents as an actress, as a physical monster to take on these people. And they really don't. I could let the script and story go when it comes to an action film. Like John Wick is about a former assassin that his wife is killed and his dog is killed, and he's pissed off and just wants to kill people. Okay, that's fine. It sounded like when I first saw the trailer for John Wick, I'm like, okay, the action looks amazing, but the story sounds really, I'm not a father myself. I own dogs. If someone, went after my dogs, I'd probably try to be John Wick. I probably wouldn't survive too long, but I sure as hell would try because I love my dogs. When you live in a world where there's John Wick and Atomic Blonde and Mad Max Fury Road, how dare you have action scenes that are poop? Come on, man. You have good cinematography in here, very nice colors, crisp, very nice flowing wide shots in the cityscapes, and then when you have action, you're like this. Why? The ending has a slight twist that I saw coming a mile away, unfortunately. There are certain things that happen in a film that you could kind of guess scenarios for the ending. So as soon as stuff starts happening, I'm like, okay, there's a good possibility this is going to happen. And then I have this problem where once I decide that the ending is going to be like this, a certain way, I keep it here and I hold on to it. And I constantly think about that. And then once it happens, I'm so let down. So I let down myself. But it's so easy to call endings nowadays. And you've seen it in all my reviews so far, where a lot of the films I told you I could tell the ending. Even the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix, I literally could tell you every plot point that was going to happen. I just had a feeling. And when it happened, I'm like, Brian, your brain, it works so weird. So that's Jolt, really. There really isn't too much to say about this film other than it's a action film, revenge action film that's a clean 90 minutes that really won't waste your time too much, but you're really never going to revisit it again. There's nothing in this film that screams, oh my God, I want to see this again. They do keep it open at the end for a possible sequel. You'll see if it's doable or not. If Kate Beckinsale comes back, if they make a sequel to this, I would like to see her character again. They just need to get a better choreographer for this action. Again, I don't care if the story is a little preposterous. I can't pronounce things today or enunciate things today. Yeah, so if she comes back in a sequel, I will welcome it. I want to see what maybe a different director could do. Or maybe even if it's the same director, she could get just a different choreographer. Because again, the performances were great. So the direction wasn't a complete loss. It's just choreography. I'm going to give Jolt a rating of... Well, that was my review of Jolt, Film Buffs. Thank you so much for tuning in again. I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much for coming by. If you did like this video, please like, subscribe, and share to catch me every time I'm on air. And hit that notification button to find out exactly when I'm on air. And this beautiful face is gracing your computer screen, or your iPhone screen, or your iPad screen, or your Android screen. I'm going to shut up now because I want you to come back and I don't want you to be annoyed. Have a great night. Thank you so much. And I'll catch you here next time on Toxic Reviews. Ta-ta!